welcome back, Miss Angela White.
Thank you. Nice to meet you, Will, too. We've never met.
I know. Pleasure's all mine. I'm glad we finally get to it.
Good to meet.
This is great. All right. Why don't we get started?
Okay. You don't mind me drinking my tea, do you?
No, not at all.
Okay, good.
Not at all. So, since our last interview, can you tell us anything about any new projects you've been working on? So what have you been working on?
Yeah, so I think the last interview was last spring. Chris, you can remind me, but I don't know if or maybe last summer, I was working on a TV show called Pump that stars Michael J. White, Ray J, Jennifer Freeman, McKinley Freeman. Yeah. And that's going to be released next month. So that's exciting. I'll be talking about that.
Yes.
And that's directed, written, and executive produced by Corey Grant. I was a producer on that project. Mm-hmm. Since then, I also shot and directed my first short film called Transgress, where I'm the director on. That's a spiritual thriller. Thank you. And that's a spiritual thriller. So that's a little different twist and take on Eve. So basically about two men that knock on the wrong door.
Uh-oh.
Then I did my first political project in Atlanta called Hands Up. I'm really excited about that. And that's a parallel of universes where we follow a family during slavery in 1855. Mm-hmm. And we follow them all the way up to 2020. And basically, things haven't changed since 1855. And that's a political piece.
Yes. It has to be.
Yeah. And, you know, it's a love letter to African-American men. Mm-hmm. Basically, we're talking about what's happening in this country, the epidemic, because it's an epidemic of many Black men being killed. And has anything really changed? And it's a statement piece. It was a hard film to shoot because really the state of Georgia really didn't support us on shooting this film. It was really hard to even get a plantation. So we're going to be talking about that. That would have been shown at the Cannes Film Festival next month, but now Cannes, of course, has pushed everything back. And that would have been, we were going to release it first at a film festival, and that's called Hands Up, and I directed that as well.
Right.
And then I just finished a TV show in January called Laugh Tonight with Damon Williams. Then I was in the middle of shooting another TV show. Don't judge me on the titles, called Whole Phase, but spelled Heaux. And we were in the middle of shooting that literally when this happened.
Wow.
So doing a lot of stuff on the horizon also, and excited about tapping into so many different genres.
Yeah, that's amazing. Sounds like you're still keeping busy too. That's great.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
absolutely.
Yeah. So tell us more about how COVID-19 might be slowing down some things for you.
I needed the break. So for me, it wasn't a slowdown. We're in post on Hands Up. We were just screening Transgress at different film festivals. And so we need to get that out there too. I'm in the middle of setting up my next faith-based and another film in Atlanta. So I really needed the break, to be honest with you, because I was kind of working nonstop. And so this is a moment for me to slow down, reset, kind of catch up. I knew my film, A Question of Faith, was going to premiere on Easter on Lifetime. So I need to start rolling that campaign out. So we've been promoting nonstop for the last week. And so I needed the break. And also it's a time just kind of reset, rethink, meditate, figure out what you want to do in your future, catch up on things that you've been procrastinating on. So it's an unfortunate time, but also it's been kind of God's grace and mercy for A Question of Faith, because we get to see a whole new audience gets to see our film that had never seen it before.
Yes, absolutely. Tell us a little more about A Question of Faith. What drew you to that? How did this come about?
Yeah.
How did that project come about?
Yeah, I was at a conference and I was talking to Bishop T.D. Jakes, and basically he was talking to about 30 of us African-American filmmakers, and was basically like, you guys are doing so much content, but you are missing an entire audience. Nobody's doing content for the African-American Christian audience, and none of us were. Yeah. And he gave us a challenge to think about doing it. And I accepted the challenge because at the time, my investor wanted to do faith-based as well. It was a process on finding one. When we found one that I liked, once I talked to the writer, who was Ty Mans, he agreed to our terms. And then that just started the process. We shot in Atlanta. What resonated with me on this film was the multicultural aspect of it. Three different families, 3 different cultures, dealing with texting and driving, dealing with race relations, dealing with organ donation. There were so many real elements that said, okay, I can do this faith-based. I didn't want to do a preachy one. I wanted to do one that was realistic with flawed characters who really question their faith in God. And what better time, Will, than now? People are really questioning their faith in God.
Exactly. So. Exactly. Yeah, I was actually going to ask you about that too. Like this is very timely, and a lot of people are going through a lot of things in their minds right now, and some people are able to turn to faith, some people aren't. So it's interesting. Like if you're able to, keep your faith strong during times like this, then, a movie like that can be, uplifting and it can feel good.
Yeah, it's a perfect time. And who would have thought that our biggest audience would come a couple years after it was released? It first came out in theaters in 2017. Mm-hmm. And then it was on Netflix and also available for video on demand. But I think we have a good chance for people to sit home as a family and watch it and really discuss some of these tough issues. There's a lot of tough issues in the film.
Right.
And I think people really need to step back and see them.
Right. Right. So what messages were you guys aiming to really, hammer down on and get across?
Yeah, there's a lot of messages and themes in this movie. The main theme is there's 3 families and they all have their own issues. So we have the Danielson family, which is a white family, that there's some issues of race with that family. So they deal with what we're calling racial reconciliation. So that's that family's trials. But then also that family needed an organ. So that family has some issues. Then we have the Newman family, which is the Black family, that has issues of forgiveness. And that is led by a pastor of all people. The pastor, which is played by Richard T. Jones, is the most flawed.
Oh,
who would have thought, right?
Beautiful performance, by the way. Beautiful
thank you.
Yeah.
Who would have thought that a pastor would be the most flawed character of the film and has issues of forgiveness? Then we have Hispanic family that needs grace. They need a little bit more mercy. They don't need people to be so judgmental and so quick. So all 3 families are dealing with different themes, but overall, the film is supposed to push love, grace, mercy, forgiveness. Just to look at our fellow neighbor with the human spirit and not always be so quick to judge and not see the whole story.
That's it. That's key. Dropping gems. Absolutely. Now, is there anything in the film that hits very close to home with you? You don't have to go into anything you're not uncomfortable going into, but are there any personal stories that you might?
Absolutely. My uncle, who now unfortunately has passed in August, had needed a heart transplant. And so God did grace him with a heart 10 years ago. Wow. And that really, so the organ donation part really struck home, because I personally was not one who signed up ever to be an organ donor. And that's a very hot topic amongst Christians, whether or not we should tamper with the body. And I decided to become an organ donor as a result of this movie. Even though I knew when my uncle was searching for a heart, we didn't care where it came from. We just wanted a heart. And this is the touchy issues. And this film will make you go through it, because some people agree, some people won't. But I know one thing that was very close to home, because I know when we needed a heart, we didn't care where it came from. And unfortunately, an 18-year-old passed away, and that's whose heart my uncle received. And we met that family and everything, and they were so grateful to even give their son's heart to us. This is some deep stuff, yes. And I'm kind of maybe giving some stuff away in the movie, but you'll see these themes and how they play out. But it's real life for me, what happened. And unfortunately, he passed away last August, though. Sorry. After getting the heart, I know, right? Yeah. So it's unfortunate.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for making this movie, because I couldn't take my eyes off it. I couldn't. My heart was all in it. My soul was all in it. I was like, this is what this is what we need right now. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Now I guess we could switch over a little bit. What advice do you have for young actors, directors, or producers who want to achieve that high level that you're achieving, let's say?
Well, it's always a work in progress. I'm still working in progress, to be honest. But
Yeah,
I do
aren't
have
we
a
all?
school called Backstage Pass. Yeah, we're all work in progress, right? We're all not happy where we are, but I do have a school that's called Backstage Pass in the movie industry where we do train and teach the business. And the purpose of what we try to teach is how to enter the business and how to conduct your business. So I say with anybody, before you enter the industry in whatever area, research, 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 prepare. Don't just write a script and you haven't even copywritten the script. Don't just write a script and you don't even have a package. You don't even know what a one sheet is. You don't even know what a deck is. You don't even know what a lookbook is. You know, there's some things that you need in order to get an agent or manager. Even for actors out there, which I teach mostly, have your package together. Like right now during this downtime, you should be getting your website together. Don't talk to me about you don't have a demo reel. I have a demo reel book coming out on April 15th. Don't talk to me about you don't know what a bio is or a resume. You don't have proper headshots. There are certain things you need to be prepared. If you want an agent or manager to take you seriously, you have to invest in your own career and take yourself seriously. So there's a lot of tips that I advise and give people that you could be doing in this downtime to be more prepared. For those writers out there, write the script, write the story.
Yes.
And then learn structure and format. Very key. Producers and first ADs, we can't really work on a script that's not properly structured or formatted. So learn that stuff. There's a lot of free classes being offered right now that you could be taking.
Yeah.
A lot of resources out there that you can be learning. Right now, you guys should be networking. Network with anybody and everybody. You just hit them up, right? Just hit them up. Be like, hey, I know you're not doing anything. And even if they say they are busy, fine. Just keep hitting them up. They'll eventually respond. They'll look at your stuff. This downtime can be used in a positive way, depending on how you reset your mind.
Right. Wow. Gems. Gems. Couldn't have said it better myself.
Thank you, Will.
Amazing. That is amazing. All right. And, you know, we won't hold you too much longer. Last but not least, where can people find you? What are your socials? And mention your class again, please. How do we find info on that?
You can go everywhere for me to msangela.white.com. Everywhere I'm Miss MS Angela White. That's branding, guys. My next book is branding that comes out in 3 months.
Yes.
You want to be the same everywhere. So Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, you Google me, whether it's on my Google panel, whether it's IMDb. My website is all Miss MS Angela White. Even if you want to email me, it's info@missangela.white.com. You know, branding. Okay, my assistant, she just jumped in there. Thank you, Kristen. If you go to the website, you'll see something called Backstage Pass. Just click on it, and it has so many different things that we offer. We, every week, have had writers on. So the writer from Sinners Wanted was our guest, Jimmy Jenkins, last week, you know, teaching everybody about how he wrote, produced, and directed that script. The writer before that, for the Clark sisters, Camille Tucker, was our guest. So we have so many different guests. Last night, we had a Question of Faith writer and director. So we have guests. We have live calls. This Thursday coming up, we're doing a legal and finance seminar. And so you can find it right there at Backstage Pass. We're open to everybody and we welcome everybody. But yes, thank you, Will. Everything you can find me is at Miss MS Angela White. So everything's good with you?
Yes, everything's good. Everything's good. You know, I'm about to, I'm just listening to all your gems and, you know, about to put those into action, you know, still trying to,
hit me up.
Yeah. Most definitely.
Chris is asking a question, Will. I don't know if you see that. Chris has a question there.
Yeah, tell us about someone who inspires you.
Yeah, there's so many people that inspire me. You know, at the end of the day, it's like I have to pay it forward with the school. And there's a lot of people who've paid it forward with me. Mm-hmm. And first I have to start with my mother, because without having some type of family support, I couldn't do what I do. So all the sacrifices she's made has allowed me to be here. And then you move forward to your mentors. I have a lot of people who have poured into me that inspire me, but if you just want to take it from like a celebrity type perspective, you know, you have people like Ava DuVernay. You know, the first time I worked with Ava, I'm going really back on you guys now. A lot of people don't know Ava used to be a publicist. She used to be my publicist like 15 years ago when I was at Showtime. And
wow.
And to see somebody who was working with me as a publicist in like 2005 and 2006, and to make her own way now into her own empire, it's so rewarding and it encourages you. Even to see Dion Taylor, I used to be his attorney, in '07, and to see how his career is just blowing up, to see, you know, when you're part of people's like babies and when they're birthed, and then to see it come to life, it gives you more inspiration. Yeah. You know, when I worked with Deion Taylor, I wasn't really a full-fledged producer at the time. I was dabbling in producing, but I was more doing practicing attorney. And so when I see things like this, I'm just like, wow, I can do it. I can knock it out the park. And I just have to keep going because it is a marathon. This is not overnight. I had Deion talk to my students at Sundance. We traveled to all the festivals. So he talked to my students in January. And he was saying, hey, you know, it took 13 years for people to know who I am. And people are like, for real? I'm like, yeah, for real. Because I was one of his first attorneys and I wasn't even sure he would get here. So it's real. Because you're a part of people's journeys and you don't even know, you know, if they're going to get there. So it's really a marathon, not a sprint. But those are people that really inspire me right now because I've been a part of a little bit of their journey, and to see them just push forward and persevere, really, really important. Wow. Hey, Rodney Perry. Sorry, I'm just shouting out people. Hey, Nakia. Hey, Franquita.
I love that.
Sorry. People coming on in.
Just having a great conversation here. Yeah, but I feel like that energy definitely transfers because you see how successful they are, and then you know that energy rubs off on you, and then you start having those aspirations, and it starts, you know, you start feeling it and getting motivated, and you know, keeping that circle is very key.
Yeah, you know, it lets you know too that if you just keep going, that you can get there too. Ronnie Perry saying hello, and Rodney and I think Rodney, we did our first film like in '07 or '08, and it's 2020. The journey is still continuing for me and for him. And there's so many people I've known along the journey, and it's taken a while, and it's going to take a while. Nobody's an overnight success. Nobody. Oh, yeah. Everybody's an overnight success. They've already done about 15 years. Yep. Real talk.
Yep. That's that's one of the biggest things I learned being in this business is that patience is everything.
And it's hard, right? Well, it's hard to be patient because you see other people doing it and you're just like, oh, when is my turn?
Right.
Chris has another question there.
Yeah, I saw that. How do you maintain those relationships? So someone like me, that's one of the other things I learned early on in this business was because I'm a little bit shy and I'm a little bit of an introvert. And so being in this business, you have to come out of that shell. Like you're forced to. Like you got to be able to keep these relationships. So how do you keep these relationships? What are your, what's your perspective on that?
Yeah, it's hard. The best way for me to see people is at film festivals. That's the best place for me to connect because everybody's in their lives. I'm in LA, people all over the country. Some people are outside the country shooting. And that's like the best time to try to go to some industry events. I'm not the best at emailing all the time to say, hey, how you doing? But you do have to make sure you're out in the mix. So there's certain events that is good to go to, like award season in LA. Just go to the NAACP Image Awards. You'll see everybody. Yeah. If you're, a person of color, you go to the Oscars. If you're not, and you should go to Oscars anyway if you can, or Oscar parties, Golden Globe. You want to go to key events where you can at least still be present. Because people is out of sight, out of mind. I have seen actors that I love and just forgot about, and I'm casting something, and I'm like, oh my God, they're perfect. Next thing you know, 2 days later, they're in the project, literally. Because if I don't see you, it's not that I'm not thinking about you, you're just not on my radar at that moment. Because casting directors do the same thing. A lot of times casting directors cast actors they're seeing all the time. Right. Not because they don't think you're great, you're just not in their face. Right. You're not maybe in their workshop. Actors, you guys, the biggest trick for you guys, take certain casting directors' workshops. You will be cast in all their stuff that year. That's a little tip, guys.
Gems.
You'll be in everything. You know why? Because they're seeing you every day. It's natural. It's so natural for them to be like, oh, you know what? So-and-so's on my mind. Hey, look at them. Right. Amazing. Completely agree. Yes. And Rodney, be deliberately social. Yeah, and it's hard. Jam. A lot of us, we don't want to go out. We don't want to we feel like after 10 years, you tired of going out hustling every night. It's work. It's work. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. Chris got another question. Lastly,
let's talk about how important social media is for actors. Yeah, I feel like I've been hearing a lot of different things about social media. So obviously it's a great tool to promote yourself, promote what you do, maybe show some skills at some points. And there's different levels of, you know, people where they're at in their career. And so, you know, obviously they're going to tailor their social media to where they are. So what's your perspective on that? How do we use social media to, you know, be better?
Now, social media is required at this point. I know a lot of actors get upset, like, why does so-and-so get cast over me and I'm better? Or they feel that, you know, they're more gifted or a better actor. And a lot of times you have to have built your own audience. Right now, social media, if you utilize it correctly, you can draw people to you. You can draw somebody like me to you. You can draw Will Packer to you. You can draw casting directors to you. Create your own content. Post it.
Yeah.
You feel nobody's checking you out? Guess what? Start posting some funny sketches or start posting some serious sketches. Start making some noise. People will come to you. And you do have to have a following. I know actors get so upset when they hear me say this, but you do. Remember, guys, it's a business. Okay? Right. So if I'm going to invest my time, money, and resources into you, I need to make sure that there's a payoff, right? It's just like you buying something, not a bad, you know, you want a nice pair of shoes, right? You don't want shoes that are going to fall apart as soon as you walk out the store. So it's just the same with actors. You want to buy into people that there's a payoff. So 6 months from now, when the project comes out, you have an audience that will go and see the film. Now, if you only have 5 people following you, I don't think I'm going to get a payoff with you the same as I would with somebody else. Exactly. Now, I know somebody saying, you know, their son spends too much time on social media. We're talking about using social media, though, as a business. You should be monetizing. That's your mom?
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Mom. She said you're on social media too much. Is that your mom for real?
That's my mom. She's crazy.
Well, she's getting on you. She says you're on social media too much. But we're talking about monetizing social media into a business for you. Right. And really making it work for you. If you do it right, you get fans, you get a group of people. Hey, the only thing, you can do more than acting. You can become a brand ambassador. You can sponsor a product. There's so much more you can do, but you have to start creating the brand. Remember, you guys, you are the product. Right. You are the product. So now you have to put your product out there. You have to market the product. You should be loaning out or legally lending out your services to others. So think of yourself as McDonald's. Right. Now you want to just put your product out there. You want everybody to know McDonald's. Who's McDonald's? What are you about? You can also control the content on social media. Yeah. Nobody else can tell your story better than you, right? Exactly. Put your story out there. Put the pictures you want out there. If somebody says something that's wrong, correct it through your social media. So social media is really necessary at this point. Look at everybody who's online right now. Yeah. Look at everybody's online right now. Right now, you guys can be killing it. You can be reaching out to people. Hey, I'm so-and-so and so-and-so. You can be building your following. You can be posting monologues. Look, Leah Daniels Butler, she's the casting director on the show that just had a stop that I'm on. She's up here offering virtual auditions.
Yep, open casting. There's a lot of open castings going out there, too. Make sure you
Will Packer, isn't he doing something like that tomorrow? Yeah. Some type of auditions? Will Packer. Come on, folks. Don't think they're not going to check out your social media. Yep. Don't post junk, too. Post stuff that really reflects your brand, you know, what you're about. Right. Just post that too. You know, sometimes people are posting foolishness. Remember, guys, you're a product. You're a brand. You want to post things that you want to put out there. And you want companies to put money into you. Yeah. You think all the actors are broke right now? No. A lot of these actors are making money off of sponsorship deals, ambassador deals. That
overtime. Exactly.
Yeah, like there's a business you can create. And social media can work for you. You guys could be writing books right now on something. You have an audience. It's something you're good at, whether it's cooking something. It's something everybody's good at, right? Yeah. You could be writing an ebook right now, putting it out to your audience and making a couple coins while this is happening. There's a lot of ways to monetize social media to win for you.
Yes, absolutely. Oh my gosh.
I can't believe your mom's on here.
She's my biggest fan, biggest supporter. You know.
Hey, Mom. She's like, you're on social media too much.
Yeah, come on. That's not even true. She's all the way in the bed. You don't know what I'm doing over here.
Chris just said all the celebrities are on IG Live. Yeah, look at them. The celebrities out here hustling for followers.
Yeah.
Now, the celebrities hustling for followers, what does that tell you? You got to get out there and get the people to know who you are, too. You can essentially go to a network studio production company and say, hey, this is my package and all the followers that come with it. This is the work that I do. Look at YouTube. You can become a YouTube star if you wanted to. And a network will take you seriously, even if you've never really acted before.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I know they hate when I say that, though.
No. We've seen that a lot this past 2 decades since, Vine and Snapchat and all that. And, IG. But yeah, no, thank you so much. I don't want to, hold you any longer. It's Friday.
If anybody has questions, though, I'm here. If somebody wants to ask questions, it's all good.
If there's anything else that, you'd like to say, you'd like to talk about, we're here.
No, here for it. I'll check real quick. If anybody has questions, they can send them to you to post. Yeah. But I just love the industry, and I love what we're doing, and I love the fact we can even do these IG lives. That's think about that, how social media, we're able to still stay connected.
Right.
And not lose a beat.
Yeah. We don't have any excuses to not be able to stay connected at this day and age. We got all the tools now. No,
I'm just double checking. So everybody, the film is called A Question of Faith. Yes. It comes on Lifetime this Sunday night. And it starts at 8:00 Eastern, 8:00 Pacific. We're also supporting the Clark Sisters, which comes on tomorrow night. Same thing, 8:00 Eastern, 8:00 Pacific. We're calling it Stay In and Stay Inspired Weekend. So it's full of faith. Question of Faith will have you on an emotional journey, but I hope at the end of the film you leave inspired or you feel inspired. But it definitely will take you on an emotional journey. I'm just double checking to see if anybody has questions.
There's one. Right. How do you feel about the industry when folks of color aren't getting more roles?
I feel we have to. Let me see what the question. That's what they said, just like that?
Yeah. So how do you.
That's your mom again.
Do you see any. Yeah, I know it's my mom again. Do you see any. First of all, do you see any disparities in people of color not getting enough roles still?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. There's a disparity gap. Absolutely. There's a divide. Behind the camera is even worse than in front of the camera. Absolutely. And I think what has to happen is we have to create more content for ourselves, and we have to become more behind the camera. Right. See, a lot of times people are looking for people who don't even look like them to give them a role. Why?
Right.
As hard as that sounds, a lot of times people give roles or they write stories that are true to them. So if I grew up in a suburban town, and even if it's diverse, or if all my friends are white and some of my friends are Black, I'm writing a story compared to my life, right?
Right.
So a lot of times you have to have more writers. That's where the diversity has to start. You need more directors who will demand diversity. You need more producers of color, because now you have other people's, a melting pot, telling different stories from a different perspective. So a lot of times it's hard to say, why aren't there more actors of color when the writers, if the writing room is all white, there's not going to be more roles of color like you think. It's going to be more systematic.
Right.
Almost a form of affirmative action. Oh, we need one Black person in this TV show. We don't want that. We want true diversity. So when you see something like Fast Furious, Vin Diesel, who's of color, is a producer. So of course he's going to command, I want this cast to look like how I grew up. Right. And that's how we make the change, is behind the camera. We have to push for more writers, more producers and directors of color. And we have to start creating our own content. Look what Tyler Perry's done. Yeah. He doesn't really have to answer to anybody about having traditionally an all African-American cast. He can do that. So we need more Tyler Perrys. We need more producers. I know so many people want to be in front of the camera, But we really need to be behind the camera too. And we need to push our actors who do have the power behind the camera to make sure they keep creating stories for us. That's important too.
That's right. That's
diverse stories.
Yep, the writers room.
Yeah, so we have to hold people accountable. The writers room, you know, it's really important. Like a lot of people don't really understand the power in TV of the writers room.
Exactly.
They're writing the stories. The creator is important. The showrunner is really important. More diverse showrunners we have, the more you'll see diversity. You know, I give it up to Ryan Murphy. He always keeps diversity around him. He gives opportunities to a lot of writers of color. And if you notice in a lot of Ryan Murphy's shows, at least in the last, say, 3 or 4 years, they're very diverse cast a lot of times. And he's pushing it even more. And then he created Pose, and now it's really diverse. And we need more people to do that. You'll see more of us on screen, Mom, if you see that.
Exactly.
Is your mom an actor too?
Exactly. Is my mom an actor?
She asked acting questions, so she asking for you. Yes.
Oh, I don't know. I think she's just asking in general.
Okay. I wasn't sure if she's in the business.
She'd be singing. No, she knows a little bit about it. She's you know, she used to model and whatnot, but yeah, at least. She said, how do you find the right agent or manager? Like, what was your I guess what was your path like in finding your representation?
Yeah, and I used to be a talent manager for 12 years. So a lot of times people get confused between manager and agent. They do 2 totally different roles. Right. So let's start with the manager. The manager is going to develop you. The manager is going to nurture you. The manager is going to help you find an agent. They're going to help introduce you to writers, producers, directors, network studios. They're going to set up the generals, which are general meetings for you. That's their job. They're in there for the long haul. They're getting sometimes a higher percentage. Sometimes they'll get 15%, unlike the 10% an agent will get. And there's rare cases managers will even ask for a little bit more. But their job is different. People get them confused with an agent. An agent is licensed by the state. An agent is only regulated to get 10%. Their job is to find you employment. Right. Think of like a headhunter. Think of like a temp agency. That's really what an agent is. If they don't make any money with you, they're going to drop you. Right. So if you're not making money, they're not making money. Their only job is to find you work. Now, you have to make sure you give them the tools to be able to find you work. Mm-hmm. If you don't have a demo reel and you don't have a good headshot and a bio written and you don't have a good social media profile, something to give them to work, how are they going to get you work? Remember, their job is not to develop you and nurture you. Yep. That's the manager. So a lot of people get this confused. They're with their agent. They're like, well, the agent didn't really set up a photo shoot for me, or the agent really didn't help me change my bio or resume. That's not what they're going to do. Their job is to take you and make some money. Right. And people really get that confused and they get frustrated with their agent. Like, well, the agent's really not out there telling me which acting classes to go to, or really not out there helping build the career. They don't build careers. You build your career. Yeah. That's who builds the career. You have to build it. Then you have a manager that's going to help nurture it, develop it, and then an agent is supposed to go to work. Right. So as you can also fire the agent. If they're not getting you work, you can let them go too and find another agent. Yep. That's what their job is. In fact, a lot of states, managers get in trouble, and California is one of them, for procuring work. When I started as a talent manager of a bunch of comedians, which if Ronnie's still on, he'll tell you, I used to find the work for the comedians because we didn't have an agent. So I had to book them shows and find the work. I could have gotten into a lot of trouble because managers we're not licensed by the state. We're not supposed to find you work. But of course, if you're managing somebody, you're going to try to find them work. You don't want them not working. So it becomes very delicate between managers and agents. So once we got an agent and all my talent was with CAA, I stopped finding them work. And we started regulating to the regular roles. Personally, right now, I don't have a manager or agent. I was with Gersh up until 2 years ago. Right. And I was finding all my work. So I felt, you know, it's a mutual part of the ways. If I'm finding all my work, I'm not going to share in my commissions. So I also want to have somebody who represents me who's finding work that don't have to do anything. It should just be presented to me. If I still have to go out there and do all the meetings and set up everything, and that's me finding my own work. And I tell people, you don't have to have an agent and manager.
Right.
People get that so confused. Like, I have to have one. You can have a good attorney, which I do. I have a law firm that represents me, who can do all your deals. Yep. Trust and believe. There's big talent like Chris Rock, Wanda Sykes. They don't have an agent or manager anymore. They stopped doing that years ago. So they just have a good attorney. So you really need to make sure before you start giving away your commissions that the person is really working for you. They should be working hard. When I was a talent manager, I was busting my butt like 12 to 15 hours a day for them to meet people, for them to find people. It's no joke to be a manager. Right. No joke.
Right. Yeah. You got to be a go-getter. You got to be a go-getter.
And you got to be out there working. You need to be out there meeting people and stuff. You'll probably find more work on your own before you find the right agent. Because now you have some credits, right? Now the agent will be like, oh, you've been on this show, that show, that show. Okay, now I can take you, package you, and put you on this project. Right.
Right. Oh my gosh. That's amazing. Thank you so much. I don't want to hold you any longer. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. And I can't wait to work with you. I'm putting it out there.
That'd be good. Where are you at? Where are you based at?
I'm in LA.
Oh, you're in LA too? Okay, so we have to meet after the coronavirus in person.
Let's definitely do that. Let's definitely
So it's nice meeting you. Thank you, Chris, for having me. Thank you, Black Soul Solutions. I love your platform. I love what you're doing. And all blessings to everybody. Please see the film, A Question of Faith, this Sunday on Lifetime, 8 o'clock Eastern and 8 o'clock Pacific. Thank you
so much. And where can we follow you again?
Miss MS Angela White. I'll put it in right now before I hang up. But that's where you can find me everywhere on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, my website. Brandon, guys, you want to make it easy where people can find you.
That's right. That's right.
It should be really, really easy. Yep. Somebody said, can someone hire me? I stopped managing a long time ago. That's my student. I stopped managing in 2005. Russana, I think I got your name right this time. But yeah, stop managing really takes everything out of you. Right. And if you really are not committed to it, you need to stop. Yeah. It's a full-time job.
Yeah, I was going to say
my sister just put up my one-on-one coaching. I do a lot of one-on-one with actors, like the youngest actress on Mixed-ish, Michael Michelle, was my student for a while. And it doesn't matter the age. I started with her at 5. Now she's 7. So I do a lot of one-on-one coaching for people who really need the training of how to navigate the business from getting rid of an agent, finding the right agent, how to put a package to submit yourself to the right agent. There's a lot of tricks and a lot of ways that you can position yourself for people to take you seriously.
Indeed. Indeed. You want to know more?
That's how you can find me.
Yep. Come find Miss Angela and go to that website.
So, thank you. Appreciate you. Okay. Thank you, guys.
I look forward to talking to you later. All right.
Nice meeting you, Will. Bye-bye.
Nice meeting you.